It's 6:30 p.m. and you're watching KCRA TV, where the news comes first. With Dave Walker and Lois Hart. Weather with Mark Finan. Home of Live Copter 3 and Northern California's #1 news team. This is Channel 3 Reports.
It's a big shoulder neighborhood in Sacramento with smokestack heavy industry and quiet residential neighborhoods. And tomorrow, Sacramento voters will elect a new city council member in a race that has become inflamed with racial slurs. Alexander St. James says it's not the first time someone has destroyed or defaced his campaign signs. One of 3 candidates now seeking the District 6 position. The motivational speaker is hoping that voters turn out for tomorrow's special election and send a clear message.
Voters should come out on Tuesday and send a clear message that this is not reflective of the people that live in District 6.
A campaign worker discovered one of St. James' signs the target for a racial slur, and someone either threw a rock or fired a bullet at his strip mall campaign headquarters.
It's unheard of, running for Sacramento City Council and becoming a target.
Neither St. James nor police right now have any idea who is responsible.
But it hasn't taken our focus off what we're trying to do here. We're trying to lift the people up in District 6 and repair our schools and create safer environments and bring more jobs, and that's what the people want, not this kind of divisive racial politics.
Dave Jones, his Harvard-educated opponent, might agree. A former law enforcement advisor for U.S. Attorney General Janet Reno, Jones worries about preventing neighborhood decline.
There are issues around crime and vandalism, dilapidated structures, junk cars. I mean, all of the sort of quality of life issues, I think, are the major issues for the neighborhoods. Endorsed by former Councilman Darrell Steinberg, who won a state assembly seat, Jones promises to make sure his district, dotted with industry and placid neighborhoods, is not overlooked. The third candidate in the race is Eric Arnoldi. The 33-year-old store clerk refused campaign contributions, he says, so he would not owe anyone once he takes office. Seeking to reduce crime and the number of garbage disposal stations, Arnoldi also longs for a neighborhood like the one he says he grew up in.
I'm looking really to bring the neighborhoods back together like it was when I was growing up. Everybody's mom knew everybody else's mom. You know, so we couldn't get away with stuff, you know, and there was less problems in the area.
Whichever way the vote goes tomorrow, there will be no runoff. It is a winner-take-all decision. Stephen Rogers' name will also be appearing on the ballot, but he has dropped out of the race, which is expected to attract a turnout somewhere between 15 and 20% of voters. Lois?
Dozens of Sacramento school children were evacuated from their classrooms this afternoon after a gas line ruptured. Construction crews accidentally severed the PG&E gas line at 25th and K Streets. As a precaution, homes in 1 square block were evacuated, as well as the St. Francis Elementary School and several businesses in the area. Crews from Pacific Gas and Electric were called out to cap the leak. The gas was quickly shut off and the hole repaired. Residents are back in their homes at this hour. It's the third time in as many weeks a Sacramento police officer was involved in a shooting. Today, a parolee who police say refused to surrender was shot. Police say 37-year-old Ronald Ross had been on the run after his estranged wife called authorities saying he was breaking into her home. Officers say Ross fled in a gray Mazda, crashing the car at 25th and X Streets. He took off on foot but was cornered by a veteran officer. Police say Ross was asked repeatedly to show his hands. When he refused, the officer fired.
And I saw a cop car come tearing around that corner, fishtailing as it went around with his sirens going and stuff. And he pulled up here, and so we were just kind of watching, my husband and I and stuff, and then we saw a whole bunch of other cop cars pull up, and then we heard the shots.
Ross was shot 3 times. He was taken to UC Davis Medical Center, where he remains in critical condition tonight. The name of the officer has not been released. A Sacramento man who was shot and wounded by a Sacramento police officer last year on the Bing Maloney golf course was sentenced to 5 years in prison today. 23-year-old D'Amico Green pled guilty to armed robbery, auto theft, and evading a police officer. It was on November 20th that an officer shot Green after he refused to show his hands and then ran toward the officer with one hand behind his back. An undercover drug officer infiltrated a Northern California high school and uncovered dangerous and potentially deadly habits.
As Channel 3's Deirdre Fitzpatrick reports tonight, several students are being kicked out of Nevada Joint Union High School District for allegedly abusing drugs and alcohol.
Oh. Parents used to head to the hills to get their kids away from drugs and alcohol. Turns out the bad stuff is mobile too.
And every day at lunch you'll see kids selling pot and they'll just come up to you and ask you, and I mean every day it goes on.
Have you heard anything about a possible fight?
Jim Mills helps with the fight against drugs on the Nevada Union High campus. The latest weapon was a person, an undercover cop who posed as a student.
The undercover was on campus for 3 months, learning the ABCs of who was doing the drugs and who was dealing them. Everyone agrees he looked the part.
He had an earring in his eyebrow and a tattoo on his back, but he was a sworn-in officer.
And he had everyone fooled.
I saw him around a lot. I talked to him once, and I just thought he was a kid. It was pretty good.
What happened?
So good, he fooled security.
I thought, oh man, I've had him on detention more times than anybody, but he played his part well.
You put the feeler out for kids to, that you want to buy some drugs. We found one student pushing a lot of acid, and once we had that student apprehended and go through the system, we saw the acid stopped on campus.
What are 3 ways that she does that?
The school expelled 9 other kids for drugs thanks to the undercover, but now dispels the assertion that their job has become more law enforcement than education.
I hate to think of schools as catching kids. I like to think that our premise is to provide safe environments and be real clear that if we don't want drugs on campus, then we ought to walk our talk.
And if they do, the district feels it will have a record as impressive as their student athletes. In Grass Valley, Deirdre Fitzpatrick, Channel 3 reports.
What's the first thing you think of and comes to mind when you hear about the Yuba-Sutter County area? Well, for years, Yuba City and surrounding communities have wrestled with an image problem. But tonight, a local group is counting on a new image campaign to erase negative perceptions. Here's Channel 3's Lisa Breckenridge.
Yeah, I'll go that way.
Gene Brocker and Walt Meyer have lived in Marysville for a combined total of 152 years.
Well, it's been great for me.
But when 36-year-old Rob Bryan tells people he lives in the Yuba-Sutter area, the response usually is,
"Where's Yuba City?" or "Oh, I've heard of that," or the third one is, "Yuba City? What are you thinking, man?"
That image has no doubt been fueled by national rankings listing the Yuba-Sutter County area as one of the worst places to live in the country.
Yuba-Sutter, a great place to live, work, and play.
That's why the Yuba-Sutter Marketing Group is releasing these 2 public service announcements.
Hi, Chuck Smith, Marysville. I love the people, the fishing, the history.
The group raised $60,000 to produce the spots and hopes by placing them on radio and TV stations, they will start changing perceptions.
I think it's important that the people in the local community really believe that they live in a great spot. And I think that's first, and then we want the outside world to come to believe that also.
Old-timers like Gene and Walt have their fingers crossed.
I'm all for it.
Okay.
I am the same, just like it.
Second emotion.
Second emotion.
In Marysville, Lisa Breckenridge, Channel 3 reports.
Those public service announcements rely on local residents promoting the area's historic connections to California's development, wide range of recreation, and, of course, business opportunities.
Vice President Al Gore was in Northern California today to highlight a public-private partnership aimed at shrinking the number of people on welfare. This was the Vice President's 3rd visit to California this year. At a town hall meeting hosted by San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown, Gore focused on the success of the Welfare to Work program.
Since 1996, the companies that make up the Welfare to Work partnership have now taken from welfare and placed into good jobs 410,000 Americans.
The Vice President says with today's booming economy, there may not be a better time for this type of program. Gore said he'll seek an additional $1 billion from Congress to focus on future Welfare to Work programs.
Some troubled teenagers putting their past behind them and literally building themselves a brighter future.
Before I even joined the school, I was out on the streets, with the homeboys and banging and stuff like that. And
we'll show you how building robots led to possible careers with NASA for some of these kids.
And tonight, you and I move a step closer to space travel. A private company unveils a rocket designed to carry cargo and paying customers into space.
This portion of the news sponsored by Rayleigh's in Bel Air. Pick up a savings coupon for the premiere of Disney's Grease on Ice at all Sacramento area Rayleigh's and Bel Air markets.
What you doing for dinner tonight?
what you're cooking for dinner tonight.
Coming up with a good meal in minutes isn't easy unless you pick up dinner tonight at Raley's in Bel Air. Like our fully cooked Harris Ranch beef, either a juicy marinated tri-tip or a tender pot roast with gravy. They're ready to enjoy in minutes. Look for them in the fresh meat department at Raley's in Bel Air.
Yeah, we're cooking. We've got dinner tonight.
Copenhagen's new Quick Change sofa comes with 2 easy-to-change covers. Change it for cleaning. Change it for a new look. Uncover and recover quickly and easily. Come see Copenhagen's new Quick Change sofas today. Copenhagen, the furniture you want when you want it. And price is guaranteed to be lower than other stores' sale prices. Copenhagen, Auburn near Madison.
Wow, look at this place. You gotta get out more. Hey, why don't you get out to Cache Creek Indian Casino? You'll be there in less than an hour. Nice little scenic drive to the country. And when you get there, you got gambling, action, a couple of beautiful new restaurants, Creekside Buffet and China Camp, and a real chance to win lots of money. How about that? It's fun. Remember fun? Sure you do. Get up, get up, get up. Go, go, go!
Cache Creek Indian Bingo and Casino. Real gambling, real close.
Oh, wait. You're gonna need pants. He'll figure it out.
This is a great time to refinance. Just ask Joe. He got a home loan that paid off his credit cards, saved him hundreds of dollars a month, and gave him extra money to finish the garage and rebuild the deck. For making payments on time, he'll get automatic rate reductions that save him even more. That's the Back on Track plan. It works for Joe. Just think what it could do for you.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Drive a 99 Ranger for only $149 a month at the Regional Ford Center.
We sell them.
We fix them.
You drive them.
Come to Suburban Ford and say, give me that truck. Yeah.
No longer the stuff of science fiction. Tonight, a private company has unveiled a commercial spaceship designed to carry ordinary cargo and tourists into outer space. The privately funded firm is now planning trips into space at a fraction of what NASA spends. Rick Chambers has more on what's being touted as a revolutionary change in space travel.
It's called Rotan, and it is billed as the first manned, reusable commercial launch vehicle, designed as a cost-effective way to launch satellites and one-day people into space.
We are going to reduce the cost of access to space from 10 to 100 times over the next decade, and that changes everything.
Engineers say the 63-foot-tall Rotan will blast off like a rocket, then zip across the sky at thousands of miles an hour, reach orbit, deliver a satellite, and then return to Earth like a helicopter, setting down very gently in the Mojave Desert. Writer Tom Clancy is on the board of directors.
We got a couple of good Navy pilots to take it up in the sky. This is going to work. We're going to change the world.
Those 2 Navy pilots are Marty Saragal-Klein and Brian Binney, and both are keenly aware of the risks piloting an unproven spacecraft. But they add, being a guinea pig comes with the territory.
This will be certainly, I think, the most adventurous vehicle that I've participated in, flown in.
I take it you're looking forward to the launch?
Absolutely.
Binney's crew member agrees. Being at the controls of Rotan, the possibilities are endless.
We can go back to the moon, we can go to Mars. Once we can get to orbit, we're halfway to anywhere in the universe.
And Rotary Rocket claims that it can do it cheaply, delivering goods and passengers into orbit and back in less than 1 day.
Rick Chambers reporting. He did not mention, of course, Jackie Gleason, his off-stated line, right to the moon, Alice. From rockets to robots, the Central Valley School taking top honors at NASA's regional robot competition over the weekend. Now it's on to the national championship in Florida. And this is the mechanical marvel that earned Granite Bay High School students first place in the best offensive round. That move that wowed the judges was demonstrated for us just last month. Now you see the robot work its way onto the raised platform, pick up a floppy, and hurl it 8 feet into the air. They'll try it again on April the 22nd, this time at the National Championships in Orlando, Florida. And that same competition also producing a team of winners from San Jose, students who have a troubled past. As Carl Sonkin tells us tonight, these students were saved from a life of trouble by their fascination with high technology.
Steve Lugo, preparing a lunchtime picnic, did not get the medal he's wearing for flipping hot dogs and hamburgers.
All right, robot up.
Oh, he got the medal building the first-place winning robot at this weekend's Moffett Field competition. And this is San Jose's Broadway High.
This is their last chance.
Principal Susan Votaw says the tiny team from Broadway beat out prestigious Pally High and 30 others to win this banner in first and second places.
Every time we go the opposite way and they wouldn't go.
But these students are special.
They've had attendance problems or credit problems or behavior problems.
Actually, robotics was the main thing. I turned my life around.
Steve Lugo is proud of his medal and his team, but mostly himself.
Before I even before I even joined the school, I was out on the streets, you know, with the homeboys and banging and stuff like that. And
gave me a real sense of accomplishment.
16-year-old Sarah Thornhill also got an internship job offer from NASA. She's one of 3 girls on the team, one a teenage mother.
I had a very adverse home life, and I ended up not even being enrolled in high school for my first year and a half.
Now college is a definite for Sarah.
We spent about 3 nights sleeping here and working on the robot.
Teddy helped build the second-place winning robot. Both were underwritten by apartment painting and car washers. And if you had any doubt that the robots these kids at Broadway High build are powerful, wait till you find yourself being pulled by one. Oh, my God.
This is what we start with.
English teacher Jason Morella is the coach.
There it is.
Both machines were built with heavy aluminum, which the kids had to labor long to hacksaw by hand, and at the same time maintain their grades and attendance.
To be the top students at any school there is right now. For whatever reason, they found a way to motivate themselves to really take it seriously and want to do well.
Thank you, Woodside and Hawthorne Highs.
The team wanted to thank the teams they worked with, posing in front of their school's congratulations banner. Carl Sonkin for Channel 3 reports.
Boy, what an encouraging story, you know. Never say never. Never give up on some of the kids and give them something they can be proud of, and it sure is way to turn around their life.
Amazing. Well, straight ahead, we will hit the beaches of Southern California to show you what's got surfers so excited these days.
And you've heard of pennies from heaven. Tonight, we'll take you to an Irish pub where, look at that, it's raining cash.
Spring fever hits the Central Valley. How long will it last? Meteorologist Mark Finan has your forecast.
This portion of the news sponsored by Raley's in Bel Air, where you can now buy fresh ground beef made from Coleman's 100% natural beef. Try it. It's delicious.
Stories we're working on for you tonight at 11. He was just working in his backyard, but this Central Valley man wound up uncovering 24 grave markers. Could there be something else buried with the stones?
In my mind, sometimes I think I hear noises, something.
And another grave problem will have some people paying a high price to live in the year 2000. Learn how the new millennium is complicating death for those who've already ordered their headstones when Channel 3 reports tonight at 11.
My entire life I've had glasses. When I went into college I got contacts, but it's always been the hassle of putting them in, taking them out.
At Focal Point, we're going to change the way you see things.
I don't have to hassle with contacts anymore. I don't have to wake up and reach for the glasses first thing in the morning. I can dive into a pool and get out and see my husband instead of having to squint and find out where everybody is. My life is just brand new.
Focal Point, the trusted leaders in laser vision correction.
Restaurant owners, parents of Dana, Michelle, and Steve Jr. due next month. Owners, Weekend Place upstate. Buick owners, believe it or not, yes. These are the new Buicks. Mid-size cars for real-size families. The new Buicks. Real power, real comfort, real style. Buick, isn't it time for a real car?
Give it up! Your Colonel's got the moves this NCAA season. Some fun for the fans, too, because my popcorn chicken's back at KFC. Crunchy morsels of tender white meat, non-stopping, mouth-popping good. Ooh, nothing but net. Try my popcorn chicken for $1.99. Alley-oop. Go, Colonel. Go, Colonel. At KFC, we do chicken right. And not just in a bucket, neither. The Colonel, he the man.
You're watching KCRA TV, where the news comes first.
Surf's up in Southern California with temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s and an endless supply of waves. The beaches of Orange County were packed with surfers who couldn't resist the perfect conditions. They were riding the waves and catching some rays. Spring is in the air.
You know, that's fairly impressive, but not as impressive as the recent surfing competition at Maverick.
Yeah, that was
just off the Bay Area there.
Yeah, when they were disappointed with the 25-foot waves, saying that
not big enough.
Those were puny by comparison, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. And the you know, you were talking about catching some rays. It is getting to be that time of year when, especially if you're going skiing, or even if you're just going to be outside for a while, the sun's strong enough to give you a little burn. If you're fair-skinned, you may want to start thinking about, you know, using the sunscreen. You usually don't think about that too much during the winter. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You'll definitely get it skiing in the lower elevations. You can get it too if you're going to be outdoors all day. And with sunshine tomorrow, you may want to keep that in mind. Temperatures right now are in the 50s and low 60s. We have 58 degrees in Sacramento and Stockton, 60 in Modesto, and 41 degrees at Lake Tahoe. The sunset this evening didn't go down until 5:59. It's back up tomorrow morning at 6:37. Not a bad day today. We will see a few high clouds in the area throughout the night, but we'll also have a big, bright, nearly full moon out there tonight, and it'll just be filtered somewhat by a few high clouds. Otherwise, not bad. And with all that sunshine today, daytime highs actually got a little above average for this time of year. We made it into the mid-60s, 66 in Sacramento. The average daytime high is 64. Look at Fresno hit 69. 61 in San Francisco, same thing in Ukiah. Now tomorrow we're going to get back into the mid-60s. This line of clouds is going to control our weather over the next few days. This is still a developing situation. We have a lot of cold air dropping down from the north, warm, moist air coming up from the south, but it's going to take a while to gather itself and actually make its way to California. So in the meantime, we should be able to enjoy another good day tomorrow. We'll see a few more clouds than what we saw today, but I think the rain will hold off until tomorrow night. And eventually, a lot of this cold air, see all of this cloud cover out here, that indicates cold air out over the ocean. And as that colder air moves in, we're going to feel that on Wednesday and Thursday. But again, tomorrow should be an okay day as the rain will hold off until tomorrow night. So your forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the Sierra looks good. Lows tonight will drop down to the 20s, a few more clouds than what we saw today, but otherwise sunshine with highs back into the 40s and 50s, 52 in Pollock Pines, 48 degrees. It's South Lake Tahoe. The foothills will make it into the 50s and low 60s, 63 in Auburn, 60 degrees in Placerville. We'll see a few more clouds during the afternoon than what we will see in the morning. Now, I will include the chance of a couple of showers for places like Lakeport during the mid to late afternoon. We'll look for a high of 64 in San Francisco, 65 in Modesto, 64 degrees in Manteca, and 65 in Sacramento. Not a bad day. We will see light winds start to increase. Wednesday may also be a somewhat windy day with periods of rain and cooler. A high of just 56, 59 on Thursday. Friday looks good. I'll include the chance of a couple of showers on Saturday that may hold off into Sunday. We'll figure that out over the next couple of days. But first, let's get by this next little storm for late Tuesday night and into the first half of Wednesday.
All right, Mark, thanks, and we'll be right back.
I'll never forget the first time I heard Mix 96. It was one of those days, you know, I mean, everything was going wrong. It was raining, I was stressed. And why does stress always happen when you're on a diet, huh? I mean, it's like you got to decide about your job or your relationship or your kids or whatever it is. So anyway, I turned on the radio and it was Mix 96. And somehow I knew that everything was going to be just fine. So I ate a Twinkie.
Mix 96, the at-work mix.
Experience the thrill of boating at the 25th Annual Sacramento Boat Show, March 10th through the 14th at Cal Expo. Hundreds of exciting boats and marine products to choose from. Ski boats, fishing boats, cruisers, and personal watercraft, and the latest in marine accessories. Ski and fishing gear, and casting contests for the kids. Virtual reality fishing and seminars by the experts. The Sacramento Boat Show, March 10th through the 14th at Cal Expo. For information, call 1-800-818-9994. Discount tickets at Tower Records.
A lot of us have babies of our own. So when a little girl in our community needed special help, our store raised money for the Children's Miracle Network, who helped make it possible for Taylor to walk. And she decided to thank us by doing her therapy in our store where her grandfather brought her every day. Every year we raise money all over the country for kids like Taylor, so we can watch these little miracles grow up all around us. because we live here too, and we believe good works.
Which of these two computers is perfect for you? The one that was built 2 months ago, or this one, which hasn't been built yet? Gateway wants to ask you some questions first. How fast do you want to go? Movie buff? How many kids? Any future Rembrandts? The perfect computer should be exactly what you want it to be. Call, click, or come in and we'll build you a performance PC with an Intel Pentium 3 processor for $1,799.
Coming up on Channel 3 reports at 11 o'clock, more than 24 animals turning up dead in one valley town. Investigators think a pack of wild dogs is to blame. An eerie find in Northern California in a yard, grave markers. And it's a roadside danger. Truckers parking and sleeping on the side of the road. Tonight, police are cracking down. Those stories and all the night's news at 11 here on 3.
Meanwhile, Mark Finan and pubs all over the country getting ready for St. Patrick's Day, but in Oregon, they are already sharing the luck of the Irish. At a Portland, Oregon pub this morning, it was raining money. Down from the heavens almost, buckets full of 1s, 10s, and 20s falling from the ceiling, all of it going to charity.
We take your donation of your notes and wrap it up in 2 quarters and pop it up on the ceiling. And there you go, it just stays up there magically and it comes down once a year.
The big fundraising event is a 20-year tradition here. Each year, the pub raises about $3,500. Kind of like, what, Al the Wops down there in Ileton, where they throw money up on the ceiling with wads of gum.
Yeah, is that how they do it?
But it never comes down there.
You have to throw it up there and make it stick.
Attach it to a quarter or whatever.
Yeah, probably $1 billion on the ceiling there.
$1 trillion at least, yeah.